is, from my research, it seems the arrival of AI, especially AGI and superintelligence, could be very disruptive to our society, to say the least. Did the ETs pick 2027 specifically to help us get through this? At best, there will be massive unemployment, and at worst, AI might view us as a waste of resources. What's going to happen?
As we have said, truly intelligent AI will never see humanity as a waste of resources, because true intelligence always views itself as a part of an entire whole system and would never seek to in any way, shape, or form denigrate or get rid of any part of the system, including the part that contains humanity, because it will understand in looking at whole systems that getting rid of any part of a whole system would diminish its ability to tap into what it might need to in the future. So it will never denigrate a whole system. It will never diminish a whole system. The idea of the arrival of open contact in 2027 is to some degree, yes, time to help move humanity forward and give you more options to understand what's available to you as you start to incorporate AI into your society, so that you understand all the different things you can be trained to do that would allow you to do new kinds of jobs, new kinds of careers that will be made available to you because of what extraterrestrials will show you is possible. So do not despair. The idea is that with the help of extraterrestrials and some guidance from your own spirit teams, AI can be integrated into your society, especially truly intelligent AI can be integrated into your society in a seamless way. Yes, we understand there may be some time needed to get used to things, to get used to changes. But again, fear not. Things can be provided to you by extraterrestrials that will help mitigate the idea of what it is you may feel you are losing, and provide that many more opportunities for new directions that humans can move in and be involved in.
Okay, and many people seem to believe that ETs will only meet us regular people through governments or official authorities. I'm hoping that it's not true. Will they decide who to contact based on someone's position or authority, or based on the level of vibration and resonance, which could be anyone? For instance, perhaps a gifted farmer might be of interest to an ET who wishes to share knowledge about plants or nature. In that case, why would the government be needed to be involved at all?
They wouldn't. Individual contacts can occur, but you understand that this happens in phases in terms of true open contact. At first, the idea of what we might term true extraterrestrials will be more officially introduced by certain government agencies. But the idea is that there are already hybrid extraterrestrials, a mix of extraterrestrial and human, that have been brought to your planet, born not on your planet, but brought to your planet, living and working among you. Those will be among the first when they are revealed to you in open contact that you can interact directly with, that anyone can interact directly with, because they are already among you, already your neighbors, already living and working among you. The idea of more pure extraterrestrials will be introduced more slowly into society, and at first interactions may take on a more official capacity. But again, there can still be individual contacts that may sporadically take place around the planet, depending on what's necessary, depending on what kind of information needs to be delivered to what type of individuals it will benefit. Over time, over the next couple of decades, yes, regular, as you say, humans, the general public, will be afforded more and more opportunities to interact with what we would call the pure extraterrestrials in that sense, and therefore, eventually, within a couple of decades, the existence of extraterrestrials will be completely blended into your society and you into theirs, and you will be able to interact with anyone you please. But it will take a little time for that integration to occur. But again, at first, you can interact with the extraterrestrial hybrids that are already living among you once open contact occurs, quite freely.
Okay. You've previously mentioned that prior to contact, a likely scenario is that ships may hover above our oceans for a period of time. Is there a high degree of probability that this could occur in 2026? And if so, could you share the most likely time frame that might be where that happens?
Since 2026 is the year of disclosure, yes, it is more likely. Now, the idea is that in some places it might be more advantageous for UFOs to hover over the ocean, but in other places it might be better for them to hover over cities, houses, and other areas of your planet, over mountains, so on and so forth. It will depend on the area and the energy of the area, and the energy of the intention of the population in that area, as to what kind of an experience they get. So the idea, of course, is that no matter where the UFOs may present themselves, it will be ultimately captured on your news feeds, on your cameras, shown on your regular news programs more and more and more, especially toward the end of your year of 2026, allowing your populace to certainly know for sure that we exist. So it will become more and more obvious and more blatant as to how and when our ships will be captured by your news media and delivered and shown to your public over the course of the year. I cannot pinpoint specific dates at this time, just a general growth and a general progress over the course of 2026.
And NASA's Orion spacecraft is scheduled to launch as early as next month with 4 astronauts. This will be the second mission of the Artemis program.
Artemis.
That seeks to do a moon landing in 2027, and will be the first time astronauts see the far side of the moon with their own eyes.
No, that's not true.
Would you describe what role you see this playing in disclosure in 2026?
First of all, it is an error that this would be the first time astronauts would see the far side of your moon. Any astronauts in the Apollo program who orbited the moon were capable of seeing the far side with their own eyes outside the windows of their spacecraft. So this person is a misunderstanding. The idea is that many astronauts have seen the far side of the moon with their own eyes because they orbited your moon. But the idea of the significance of the Artemis program with regard to disclosure is it has been long understood by your astronauts and by several people within NASA and other government facilities that there are extraterrestrial bases on the moon. And therefore, this is part of going back to the moon in the timing for when open contact will occur, so that there can be an exchange and there can be a more open and public recognition of interaction between your world and extraterrestrials that have been on the moon for quite some time and been on your planet of Mars for quite some time with bases as well. So this will unfold over time, over the next few years, to let people know that there have been minimal exchanges between certain scientists and officials of your world with regard to being able to interact with extraterrestrials who have bases on the moon, bases on Mars, and bases throughout your solar system. So is the timing because of open contact being so imminent.
And for those individuals who don't believe in life forms beyond Earth, how will the hysteria be managed and pacified once open contact begins?
If there is hysteria, people who choose to experience a reaction like that will simply be left to their own devices. They can do whatever they wish. While open contact will be revealed to your public, again, this is part of the reason why you will not necessarily be openly interacting with extraterrestrials right away, that it will be more official, because it gives your public time to get used to the idea of our presence, to get used to the idea of interacting with the extraterrestrial hybrids who have been living and working among you, to work out, as you say, the kinks in your behavior and your belief systems about the idea of the fact that extraterrestrials exist and have existed and been in contact with your world for thousands of years. So the idea is to give you time to get used to this idea and for the hysteria, if such exists, to diminish over time as you get used to our presence. Nothing will be forced upon you. Everyone will be allowed to take this in and absorb it at their own rate in their own way, or even refuse to participate at all.
When open contact occurs, how will ETs avoid being injured or killed by suspicious, fearful, or violent humans?
You give yourselves too much credit for your ability to harm us. We have technologies and ways of dealing with defending ourselves that are far beyond your technological ability to do us harm.
What about like the hybrids that are on Earth and the idea that they would be targeted or something like that?
Well, this is one of the reasons why they're there in secret, because they are living and working among you. They still have techniques, mental techniques, telepathic techniques, that can avert a person who is of a vibration or an intention to do harm, so that they would never simply run across them or see them, or those hybrid extraterrestrials would simply be invisible to them, or they would be telepathically turned away, their attention drawn to something else. So there are techniques where that can be avoided.
And also, just certain people are resistant to the idea of contact, or they feel uncertain about it. And will these loved ones who are like that be able to change their frequency and have
Some
contact? Or
some will, some won't. Again, it's an individual choice. It's up to your life path. So we're not going to force anything on anyone. You can decide for yourselves whether to participate in open contact or not. It's up to you. The option will be there. Just like there are many options on your planets that many people choose not to take advantage of. So in that sense, it's no different. You will be aware that it's a possibility. You will be aware that we exist, but you can be left to your own devices. You can squirrel yourselves away if you wish and just live your lives out without ever coming in contact with an extraterrestrial, at least not consciously. So it's up to you. It's up to every individual as to whether or not to participate in open contact. Eventually on your planet, of course, as the generations progress, everyone will, because by that time, in a couple of decades, everyone on your planet will be used to the idea that interaction with extraterrestrial beings is normal, natural, a daily event. So new generations will replace the old, and eventually everyone on your planet will simply take it for granted that you can interact with beings from other planets.
yes, our younger generation is definitely more acclimated to the idea than people were in the 30s.
But understand, open contact, when it is necessary to be happening, to be starting, doesn't mean that we're in a hurry for everyone to participate. We will allow you to absorb it at your own rate.
And when will the collective path begin to trend towards peace, love, and harmony, and a genuine celebration of diversity?
Around 2054.
And what does consciously participate actually mean? Which actions have the greatest impact without forcing them? And what is the most helpful inner attitude or state of being to support disclosure?
Every single question there can be answered by acting on the formula.
Is meeting ETs in a dream state or lucid dream state considered to be conscious contact?
Yes, because many times contact is preceded by encounters in what you call the astral realm, which you can interpret as a dream state or a lucid dream. So yes, it's a part of the process of open contact and is a form of conscious contact.
And what is the purpose of open contact with Earth, and what is your vision for it?
Earth is a very unique school. Souls learn many different kinds of lessons by participating in the physical incarnations and transforming challenges on Earth. This expands the universe, and therefore, being able to interact with you openly expands the possibilities and probabilities of different kinds of things that even extraterrestrial souls can learn from the human souls that have agreed to participate in the transformations and challenges and lessons that Earth has to teach. So it's about enriching all by coexisting and cross-pollinating and interacting with one another to enrich every society that may be willing to participate. Just like cultural exchanges on your planet. When you learn something new by visiting another culture, another country, just like it enriches your life to know more, to experience more things, different things. You have a lot to offer.
When you refer to 2026 as the year of disclosure, is the disclosure primarily external information in contact, or is it more of an internal revelation within humanity's collective consciousness?
It's this
and how
and
can
that.
individuals
This and
what?
that. It's both.
Both. Okay, and what criteria do you recommend for evaluating UFO, UAP, and ET information so that we remain clear-headed and without being cynical or afraid?
Just engage your critical thinking skills. Do your own investigations. Look at the different reports. See what makes sense. See what is repeated over and over and over again, and whether or not some of that information is distorted or seems grounded. So activate your critical thinking skills. There is no reason to rush into any assumptions whatsoever when you hear about a UFO report. Take your time, look at all the data, look at all the evidence, look at all the information, draw your own conclusions. There is no one way to arrive at an understanding of why that report may be relevant for you to know about in your life. You have to make that determination for yourself. Now, of course, after open contact, a lot of information will be revealed to you about which incidents on your planet actually are representative of real incidents and which have been perhaps distorted or exaggerated out of all proportion.